This meeting is being recorded.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Magna Carta podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Chris, here with my guys, Dan, Rich, and Andrew, back from a very long vacation. Good to see you, man. Fellas, how we doing today?
Superb, baby.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment on our videos. We appreciate everybody viewing wherever you are viewing from. Here with you all on NFL Sunday, man. It's been a beautiful day so far, guys. So definitely want to discuss, some of the early games. I'm here with three Eagles fans. We're ready to give our best or worst takes on the NFL Sunday. So you guys want to start with the Eagles game today versus the Colts?
Them dudes looking like frauds right now.
Yeah, we definitely looking like frauds. I don't like the way we've been playing. I definitely think the Redskins definitely was the first ones to initiate that exposing of us. And the Colts doing the same thing. Almost every game that we won this year, almost every game, we barely been scraping by. Don't like the way we playing. It's definitely not. I'm definitely happy for the win. So I don't want to sit here and look like I'm unappreciative. A win is a win, no matter how they come. Even if it's a Super Bowl, but it's not looking like a Super Bowl caliber team. So it's not looking like the team from our first Super Bowl or our first Super Bowl appearance. We looking real shaky, but for that matter, the entire NFL looking real shaky.
It's just weird that how it flipped the switch on us, because like we always took care of the ball, and all of a sudden we just been losing fumbles and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on lately, but they just have not been taking care of the ball, and that's been the recipe for our winning.
Definitely. I have a bit of a different viewpoint on it. So my thought process is that, like, whether it's professional football or basketball, seasons are long. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to face injuries. You're going to face different issues. Learning how to win closely is something that every team, regardless of what sport it is, has to learn. And Jalen Hurts, for the first time, like they're really being put in games that are important. And he found a way today to get it done. So that's all that's important. All that matters, that W.
Yeah, that's a good topic, because it's definitely a lot of times any given Sunday, like when teams, like even trash teams, when they see a good team with a good record, they always want to seem like they want to spoil. It's like it's their Super Bowls, kind of. They just play like top notch somehow, and that sometimes gets you. Sometimes it's a surprise game where you're just thinking it's an easy win, and you just get knocked in the mouth. Sometimes you gotta fight back.
Honestly, I have to agree. I think we went into that Washington game thinking that was an easy game. I thought that was an easy game, 100%. And then while we at it, I'm definitely with the close wins. You say what you want about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts as a player has made a miraculous comeback. He's turned his entire game around. You can't talk that much trash about Jalen Hurts like they were doing before. You absolutely can't. Like, this season, he's definitely proven himself. It was a win or go home for Jalen Hurts. I feel like if he didn't prove himself and do as well as they're doing right now, no matter how the wins come, I feel like Jalen Hurts is probably going to get traded at the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
I can tell I'm with a couple Philly fans here. There's not much happiness going on so far. Even with you guys' 9-1 start, it seems like I'm hearing. You can just tell that you guys, know a lot about the game. That it is a long season with the NFL, and anything can happen. Like you guys mentioned, any given Sunday. I thought you guys would be happier, seeing that W after a slow start to the game today. Hurts didn't have his best game passing. I think only had like 190 passing yards or something. So then you guys should be a lot more happier than I'm hearing about that, man.
So the difference is, right? So I'm definitely happy about the win, and no matter how we looking at it, we a playoff team, right? But nobody celebrates how well you do in the season. It's how well you do in the playoffs, and those are the improvements that the Eagles need to make, because they not a playoff caliber team right now. But in our defense, no team is looking like a playoff caliber team. So it goes back to what you guys were saying about any given Sunday. It's any given Sunday. So the league is up in the air right now. I still feel like we got a good chance overall. There are rooms for improvement. Like, we definitely need to work on our run defense. That's what's killing us almost every game.
It's trash.
It's trash. It's horrible right now. So, and that's where we getting exposed. That's where Washington exposed us. That's where the Colts exposed us today. That's where we getting exposed. So and that's one of our biggest issues. But we knew that going in. We definitely picked up some good, semi-good players this week to our defense. But it's still like we need to do more. We need to do better. So diehard Eagles fan here, definitely happy about the win. I'm not happy about the way we played.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Jalen Hurts has been compared a lot to Russell Wilson, and they both kind of had similar circumstances. Russell Wilson had to leave his college to go and finish at NC State, I believe, or Wisconsin. When left NC State, went to Wisconsin. Jalen Hurts the same way. He started at Alabama. He got benched in the championship game, ended up having to transfer to Oklahoma. Both came in as running quarterbacks and eventually end up learning the game more and more. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like at worst case scenario for him, like when everything is going wrong, he can't make any completions. He knows for a fact that he can turn on the Jets and really great separation in that way. We saw Lamar Jackson again today. He got a chance to get some wins. But Jalen he's not as explosive, but he has a lot of the same qualities where he can beat pretty much anyone one-on-one in the open field. So the Eagles going to always have that extra opportunity. This is part of the reason why a lot of teams are looking for that dual threat quarterback. But you know, like the team overall, like they have a really deep defense. They picked up Ndamukong Suh this week. Like there's a lot of good things that are happening for the Eagles. And you know, health willing, they're going to be a tough out for anyone right now. It's like outside of the Niners always are going to scare me a bit. Like they're just physical at every position. But overall, the Eagles, I think they have a really good chance of really. If Jalen Hurts is looking like he's as serious as he is, they have a chance of making the Super Bowl.
For sure. Yeah. So I definitely again understand you guys' takes. It doesn't seem, up until this point that you guys have still even put together a complete game. We've seen other instances where you guys get out to that hot start and the team comes back in the second half. So now today's game was kind of a flip on that role today. But again, you still got to give credit. I mean, Hurts, say what you want about him. He's still a young quarterback, learning. So I still see him, trying to figure out his total game. But again, it's good to see him, pull out that win. You want to see that from your young quarterback, talented quarterback. And I got to talk about Jeff Saturday too on the other side, because I don't know what that last play was when they give up the touchdown. It was just basically quarterback draw with Hurts, and it was like, it seemed like 15 yards of space down the middle. I guess they were trying to get the ball back and score before the end of the game, but I don't know what the Colts are doing on the other side of that game.
I don't think the Colts even know what they're doing, to be honest.
Yeah, they could. I mean, again, they competed, but on that last drive when the Eagles were driving to take the lead, some of the calls on defense just looked like definitely a bit of inexperience for the new head coach there, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, yep. Just comes with the experience overall.
Definitely. To go ahead and stay in the NFC East, how about them Cowboys and again them Vikings?
Yeah, but I was hoping the Vikings would put up a fight and at least like beat the Cowboys. I really wanted that to happen, but them dudes just got stomped. Yeah, Kirk Cousins wants 1 p.m. 4 p.m. Kirk Cousins strikes again. Because 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins is the GOAT, so I don't know what's going on with him right now. He's doing more of the Kirk Cousins thing.
Yeah, this is the same reason why Stephon Diggs asked to get out of there. Like he looked at that dude, he's like, "Yo, this guy's not a baller. Get me get me out of here." Justin Jefferson will look over him and be like, "Yo, what was what was that?" End up actually get traded, but like his contract, Kirk Cousins made a lot of money. I think he had the first guaranteed contract a few years ago. He re-upped here recently, so their new coach has been putting up some points. But we all know the Vikings are a team that shows up and they get you excited, and then from there they end up not making a playoff. So it wouldn't be shocking at all if they go on a historic losing streak right here.
Yeah. That'd be insane.
So it's possible, but I also feel like on the grand scale of things, almost we don't have the same dynamic of players, but I feel like the Vikings is in the same exact boat as the Eagles. Whereas it's any given Sunday, I don't feel like they have a complete game, just like we don't have a complete game. But at the end of the day, they still have the second best record in the NFL right now. So that still speaks a lot to them. So I mean, although we demolished them, uh, they still got a good record. So I was really hoping for that win against the Cowboys to get today. I think if anybody, the Cowboys 100% exposed them today. I don't know the final score. I was looking for it right now, but
40 to 3.
40 to 3, exactly. No touchdowns. Come on. And then as an Eagles fan overall, I was really hoping, I'm never going to root for the Cowboys. I was really hoping for the Cowboys to lose. It definitely shakes up, that Cowboys win definitely shakes up things for the NFC East, putting the Cowboys in second place ahead of the Giants. Really not that far behind us, so I want to see how that play out.
What's interesting about the Cowboys is you see they having like a running back struggle right now. You see Tony Pollard been putting up points, man. And he's really been getting them yards over Zeke. Like Zeke was out the last game, he came back, he scored 2 touchdowns, but Pollard was like the star of the show. Really, he had 109 receiving yards, 2 TDs receiving yards, 2 receiving TDs, and he had 80 rushing yards on the ground. So I think Pollard might be the real deal and move forward. Like next year, I think the Pollard's going to be the leading running back.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ezekiel Elliott's contract is ending here shortly. I remember a few years ago after
Yeah. It's it was all set up for the Vikings today, man. They're coming off that big win that they probably shouldn't have got last week against the Bills. In overtime, Justin Jefferson making spectacular plays, and now they're at home, against another potential threat in the NFC, the Cowboys today. And they just put up an absolute stinker, 40 to 3. Are you kidding me? Like,
no touchdowns, like
105 passing yards. I'm sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was just saying no touchdown. I was agreeing with you. It's horrible. Like that's the worst.
Like, like this is the time again where you're looking for that Vikings who they, in years past, they've been inconsistent in like situations like these. And you're really just looking at least compete in the game. Like, don't lose at home 40 to 3 to the Cowboys. Like, come on now. Kirk Cousins, I have faith in you. Come on now. Don't let me down.
I just told you, it's 4 p.m. Kirk Cousins. He ain't showing up to that game, bro.
Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think like I say, like Kirk Cousins' struggles in prime time has been well known. I think he's like 10 and like 25 or something like that in you know what I mean, like standalone at 4 p.m. game. So he went from being like the dude with the chains on the plane to everyone kind of looking at him like, what are you doing?
Like, what's going on, dude?
I mean, you can't blame it all on Kirk Cousins. That O-line really did nothing to help protect him. I want to say he went down 6-7 times.
Yeah, they're all.
That's
a lot of sacks.
That's a lot of sacks for one game. So
7 times overall.
7 times, 7 sacks in a game. Come on.
Yeah,
that's not all his fault.
What you call his ball and Dalvin Cook, 11 carries for 72 yards. Like he's his speed is crazy. Like he's a game changer for sure. I think overall what I took from the game though was the Dak Prescott and Mike. Why is this guy's name missing me right now? Their coach, Mike McCarthy. They're both kind of on the hot seat. Dak got paid that contract, and for the most part, you can't remember a single throw that he's really made. He's got that contract. So for both of them right now, Jerry Jones has kind of turned the Cowboys into a circus. But McCarthy was, after last year, they was really kind of on the hot seat. Like people were talking about Sean Payton coming and taking over. Like they're different people with doing this and doing that. It's the Cowboys, so it's always be interesting. But they've really bounced back, and then seeing what they're going to do in the playoffs. Stephen A. Smith, he loves laughing at them because they'll do everything and then they'll end up losing in the wild card game. So we'll see what they do. It's going to be a tough stretch here at the end between the Giants and the Cowboys. Overall, there's probably only 2 teams get into the playoffs. The Eagles look like they got that spot locked up. Anything can happen down the stretch, but it's looking like the Eagles got that locked up. So it's going to be a fight between the Cowboys and the Giants coming up.
I don't even think, just to piggyback off of that, I don't really think it's going to be a fight between them two. As it stands right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, both of them will have both of the wild card spots. So I definitely think we're gonna have a situation where we have 3 NFC East teams, and maybe 4. Don't count out Washington. Washington's still in the hunt. Not 4, but one of these 3. I think the are 2 wildcard spots for the NFC coming out of the NFC East. That's my prediction.
Yep. Right, right up coming off of that, there, guys. The Giants. They went down at home to the Detroit Lions. Not
I
much.
didn't see that.
Yeah, they lost.
I didn't see that at all.
13 at home. My guy Jamal Williams came through for me, 3 touchdowns on the ground for the Lions. On the other side, again, not much offense for the not much offense for the Giant. Danny Dimes threw 2 interceptions. So they're fighting off the Cowboys, and like you mentioned, Andrew, Washington too is not too far behind. So definitely a win that the Giants needed. Sucks that our co-host Alex isn't here, so we can make fun of him for that. But yeah, it's just gonna be interesting, man. The NFC, nobody really expected this. I think a lot of people had, Cowboys, Eagles, maybe fighting it out, but it's anyone's division right now. So it's gonna come down to these last half of games.
And then like you said, like the Commanders are in like 8th place right now out of 7 teams. So it's an outside shot, but possibly all 4 NFC East teams could get in. Don't know if that's gonna be a reality, but like you say, like Carson Wentz looks like his career is mostly done.
Carson is done. Carson is done.
Yeah, that's just like the third coach who gave up on him. The dude was like, yeah, you have Tyler Hinkie or you have Carson Wentz. He's like, I think we're gonna go with Hinkie.
Yeah, Carson is definitely done. I don't feel like Carson was able to recover after injuries mentally. And then Philadelphia wasn't the place for him to recover mentally. In Philadelphia, we're gonna let you know if you suck. We gonna let you have it, and that's what happened. So I feel like it maybe if Carson was somewhere else when he caught that injury, I feel like he probably mentally it would have been something, but he's done.
No, I think what really killed him was when they drafted Jalen Hurts, and I guess he kept like second guessing himself because he's just Jalen Hurts sitting there just watching, lurking behind his back, and I think he just had like the worst season ever. Just he led the league in picks that year, and he just did not look good at all. It just looked like he was just constantly had something on his brain or like worried about something. He was holding on to the ball, making terrible decisions. So. It was just like a weird thing to see because someone who dropped from a high MVP level from 2017, and then this is to come back and just look like utter trash. It was just
definitely.
It should really be studied like a 30 for 30 for that because
definitely
it made no sense.
And speaking of that, what are your thoughts on the Rams right now? Like speaking of people who had one good year and then fell off, like the Rams went from Super Bowl winners to they looking like they can't get anything straight right now.
I was saying, like, I felt like the Bengals choked that Super Bowl, honestly. But yeah, Stafford is completely done right now. And then I don't know if the Rams even have picks for the next couple drafts. So who knows what's going to happen with that whole shakeup?
It's possible it might be time to tear it down. Like set all them off for 2nd round draft picks, as many picks as possible.
Yeah, their offense was struggling before Cooper Kupp went down with an ankle injury last week. And now, like Dan mentioned, Matthew Stafford just doesn't look the same. Like I know he's had elbow issues, basically, going back to last season or even before that. So he's not getting the ball downfield as much as we're used to seeing him. And their offense has been really struggling. They took another L to the Saints today as well. So yeah, Sean McVay, he's gonna have to cook up something because I don't know, it's looking bleak over there.
It's crazy because the winner of all of this was OBJ. He was waiting for a contract for them to sign him to a contract, but ended up not signing him for whatever reason. Like they don't really have any real downfield threats, and Matt Stafford was only throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp for a while, and OBJ had a chance. They had a chance to sign him. Now all of a sudden he has a chance to basically walk on to any contending team right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him. Even in his like injured state, he's still faster than most players, so he's still gonna be able to get downfield. A few years ago, the Seahawks they ended up trading for Percy Harvin, and he only had like 2 or 3 real plays, but they were basically in like the playoffs and the Super Bowl. I think he ended up taking one to the house in the Super Bowl and then a few in the playoffs as well. So I think that OBJ is possible to have a similar type of effect where he can sit out as long as possible, get in for a little bit, get his legs under him, and by the time the playoffs start up, that he can be that person that they can really lean on in the playoffs.
All right.
That would be crazy though. If OBJ comes out in the playoffs and just signs like a team and they just kill it, yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be a great story.
Yeah, that's what happened last year. Like he dominated in the playoffs. Like he was making people look bad. Even in the Super Bowl, he was the man in the first half, and then he ended up tearing his ACL. So he's shown again that like he is capable of being that player, but his body just fails him for the most part.
I got 5 letters for you all. PANIC. Panic.
Panic.
Panic in Packerland, baby.
Oh.
You guys remember a couple years ago, Aaron Rodgers told the fans to, relax, RELAX. Now I think he got to switch up the words to, panic. They played the Titans on Thursday Night Football. Again, just kind of a trend, across the league. Very, very sloppy, choppy game, both sides, really, I would say. But especially the Packers, not much offense again. Aaron Rodgers struggling under 300 yards passing, and just not finding, any open receivers really all night long. And they ended up taking another L to the Packers, 27-17. So now the Packers basically, if they really want to have a chance to make the playoffs, they basically got to win out. Still have a slim chance, but what do you guys think about what's going on with, again, here we are talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like a lot of times they talk about the quarterback and about how you got to be like I don't want to say a politician, but you got to be, cool with everyone. You got to say the right things. You got to take the blame and then praise everyone when you guys are doing well. I think Aaron Rodgers has been mostly the complete opposite. The OTAs, you got brand new receivers, and he don't show up for practice in the off season. He shows up after that, and he's talking about doing hallucinogens. After the season starts, Devontae Adams has left because of him, because he refused to commit. He's upset with the franchise for whatever reasons. The season come, he's blasting his wide receivers. They're not on point. Again, because you weren't you didn't get a chance to build up
we're at training camp, yeah.
You ain't got no report, no type of working relationship.
And I don't know if y'all heard it, but a lot of the players now they aren't putting their name on it, but they're going to the media like, yo, this guy's missing people. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. So there's a whole lot of chirping. It's just that there isn't a lot of reason right now. Like Green Bay needs to be honest. They're in a rebuild. They aren't a Super Bowl contender. Their window has closed. They need to decide what they're doing with Aaron Rodgers, and then see if Jordan Love's on the team, and you don't really know if he can play or not. You need to put him out there, see if he can handle it or not. That you need to move on.
How long he been on a team? Like 2-3 years?
Yeah, just about.
That sucks. Just be sitting in the shadow like that.
Yeah, sad times when we're debating Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers to start.
But it makes sense. Aaron at the tail end of his career, I think he's still a little too cocky, and his game's not backing it up. The other person that needs to retire, right along with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm calling for Aaron Rodgers to retire. The other person that needs to retire right along with him is the GOAT, is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is done. He should have never came back. I don't mean to switch to the Bucks, but Tom Brady is also done. So whenever I think of Aaron Rodgers, I automatically think of Tom Brady because they're the oldest quarterbacks in the league. And right now, they really disappoint themselves right now. So,
hot take. Yeah, they got Brady down there, running wide receiver routes now. So I don't know.
Exactly.
That was a terrible play call. And the fact that Leonard Fournette actually threw the ball to him, I don't know what dude was thinking, man.
That's funny. No, I'm of the different mindset. My thought is that they're getting ready to make a run here at the end. Tampa, I think their remaining schedule. Let's see, they got the Browns, they got the Saints, the Niners. Actually, I'm wrong. Yeah, they're probably done. But
I mean, what? Who's in the division?
The Falcons, Saints, and Panthers. So the Falcons.
Yeah,
Falcons,
I mean, they can definitely make the.
That's
the playoffs.
That's the thing about the NFL. Like I said, if they can finish, like I think they got 7 games left. If they can win 3 or 4 of them, then they get in. And then again with those wide receivers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio Jones, I don't think anybody really wants to. There's no one in the NFC that I think that Brady really fears for the most part. If they can get in and be hot, I think they feel like they got a chance.
Yeah, the Saint mentioned, the Saints down there, they got to win. Jameis Winston, the king of sound bites. He got interviewed this past week talking about, losing his job because he was hurt at the beginning of the season. And he's just like, yeah, nobody's ever lost their job because of injury. And in my head, I'm like, dude, that's not like, what are you talking about? It's the NFL.
A lot of people have lost their jobs because of it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just funny to hear him say that.
It's been interesting, right? Because like sometimes people I listen to a lot, they talk about it how like as a quarterback, your responsibility is decision making. And you remember James Winston in college got caught stealing crabs or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just like think about like Jameis, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, all these people who had like questionable decision making skills. They come in the NFL and end up having questionable like decision making again. You know what I mean? So you see again if that person isn't the greatest, person in terms of processing, they end up not like if your personality. You see that right now with Kyler Murray as well, where he's not studying but playing Call of Duty. So it's an interesting time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Other early action, the Ravens got a tough win, ugly win again, 13-3. I think it ended up being over the Carolina Panthers. Should have been an easier win for them, but they, really struggled through that. And then another struggle bowl, Patriots 10-3 over the Jets. Patriots with a punt return touchdown in the final seconds. So the Jets might be returning, back to the old Jet ways with that. I don't know if you guys saw that play. It looked like there was actually a couple blocking the backs, I will say, for the Patriots on the return, but uncalled by the referees, and the Patriots ended up getting a big win because they're still fighting it out with the Jets and trying to catch the Bills and Dolphins in that division as well. So that division, AFC East, is pretty tough right now too.
AFC is really tough. I want to say the Dolphins 7-3, Bills 7-3, and then the Patriots and Jets 6-4.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right on that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna call it, and this is gonna be a long shot, but I feel like the Super Bowl gonna be versus AFC East versus NFC East. I feel like that's how I'm calling it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting seeing what happens here. Like everybody know Josh Allen is the ultra talent, right? But Tua for the Dolphins is like steady, accurate, and their coach, like they have all the pieces. It'll be interesting seeing what happens in the next 7 games because, what you're going to get from Miami for the most part. They're explosive on the outside. They run the ball pretty well, and then the Bills have been in the greatest games ever over the last 5 years, and they end up losing every one of them. So if they can keep teams can keep the game close, for the most part, it looks like they're going to have problems for the most part finishing out.
Yeah, that's a very good take. The crazy thing is, I definitely think that the Dolphins have the best chance of making it out. I feel like with Tua under the helm, they've just been humming like a wall-to-wall machine. I was listening to the soundbite with him and the coach, and it was just like, well, we punted twice in the last 2 games or something like that. I was like, that's crazy. So it's either scoring or a turnover, really, for them, and that's pretty efficient, really.
Yeah, it's their last games are going to be tough. Like there's a lot of physical games coming up. They play the Lions, so like I'll say what you want about the Lions. Like Dan Campbell got that team playing hard. They don't win all the time, but like they gonna compete. They play the Patriots, they play the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bears, and the Bengals, and then Patriots again. So it depends on how that happens. Like Belichick is going to win one of those games most likely. The Dolphins, so we'll see what happens with that. But like, it could be interesting coming down the end here. Like if they don't end up getting that number 1 seed, and the best thing that they can happen for them is have everyone come up to Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like they just have 5 feet of snow. That's not normal. You know what I mean?
That's not exactly.
Yeah, don't nobody want to go to Buffalo in the wintertime, but like if they don't get the number 1 seed, they don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Andrew. If there wasn't Patrick Mahomes, existing of potential AFC NFC East Super Bowl. But like Rich just said, I think that the Chiefs are going to end up getting the number 1 seed. They're 7-2 right now. Got a big game coming up against the Chargers tonight. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to do what we've come to know Patrick Mahomes to do, which is, undefeated over the last like 3 years in November and December. So, when the stakes get higher, he always rises to the occasion, it seems like. And I think they'll be hosting the AFC Championship game, which is going to determine it. They lost the AFC Championship last year to the Bengals at home, so I think that'll make them even more hungrier. He and Kelsey and Andy Reid as well. And I got to stick with the Chiefs right now, man. Even though Buffalo, Miami are looking tough, I think that in the end it'll be Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl against potentially you guys' Eagles still.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be crazy. Andy Reid versus the Eagles. That'd be crazy.
Oh, that's gonna be a matchup to watch. I low key always root for Andy Reid. I always loved him as a coach, and I can't say nothing bad about Andy Reid whatsoever. I can make some
guy, it seems like.
I mean, he's a legend in my book. He has I have no complaints about Andy Reid. He just couldn't get it done. He couldn't get it done in Philadelphia, but
McNabb.
Yeah,
I mean, that Super Bowl is McNabb's fault. Let's go back all the way to it. But that's a whole nother conversation.
It's interesting, right? Like Andy Reid, between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles, he went to 5 straight NFC conference games with the Eagles. I think this is like the 4th or 5th time that the Chiefs have been to the conference or the Super Bowl. So he's proven he went from being just a good coach to you look at his record, you're like, is Andy Reid the greatest coach of all time? Like you know what I mean? Like you can't compete with Bill's Super Bowl rings, but he just like he just out schemes everyone. Like he makes people look crazy. Like Patrick Mahomes at the beginning of the year, he was like, this is the first time I'm really starting to understand the game. You know what I mean? I've been playing just off of talent, but yeah, he plays like he's playing. He's a senior. Like a senior on varsity playing with a JV team. That's what it looks like when he's playing football.
I mean, I can't think of one person that's played under Andy Reid and then left or came to Andy Reid and played worse than where they started, or left from Andy Reid and started playing better. So I mean, Andy Reid definitely has the mindset and the leadership skills to develop talent, and he's proven that over and over again. You can go down the list. I'll tell you, Michael Vick. We all knew Michael Vick to be a running quarterback when he was with Atlanta. He didn't do as much running when he was with the Eagles. He definitely showed out his arm a little bit, and then he left and he busted.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's interesting because it's not just the players who do better, but the coaching tree overall. Like Bill Belichick's coaching tree continues to lose. Like you know what I mean? Like whether it's Josh McDaniels or whoever else that come out of there, they just can't win. But Andy Reid's guys, they go off and they become these decent coaches for the most part. So it shows a lot that he's a teacher. He's able to explain his X's and O's. I think it happens a lot. Like you think of in the NBA or something like that. Very rarely are great players great coaches. You know what I mean? It becomes like you're so talented or you're so much of a genius that you can't really teach anybody else that. You're like, yo, just jump over this dude and just 360 windmill. But if you come up and you're a walk-on and then you have to learn how to play, learn the techniques and everything else. And Andy Reid looks like a type of dude that had to learn step by step, play after play on how to be a coach. And he's just the best at what he does right now.
So who y'all got tonight? I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. It's Chiefs Chargers. Chargers are home. Definitely need a win to stay in the playoff contention. So who you guys got tonight?
I probably go with the I probably go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Chiefs on this one. I don't think Chargers got what it takes to take them boys. That's me.
Yeah, I think they always do something at the end of games to lose. They always do something weird. Chargers just, I feel like they try to lose games. Honestly, their coach is weird. He sucks.
They probably need a new coach in there, like Staley. He's like, it's interesting because all of like the new coaches right now are offensive coaches, and they end up giving them a defensive guy. So like, you're looking at like, bro, what are you doing? Every single time he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for this. You're like, bro, just run the ball. Kick the field goal. Like, don't make it that hard.
Now, what do you guys got for tomorrow? We got 49ers versus Cardinals. I think that's going to be a better matchup. They both suck.
A tough divisional matchup. I think right now they say Kyler Murray is either doubtful or not going to play. Is looking like so.
The hamstring.
Okay.
49ers on that one again.
Bro, I'm a Niners believer, yo. Like they're gonna get it. They'll get it done. Shanahan, he can coach. Their team is loaded. I expect them to start rising here. You know what I mean, with that NFC West being wide open, I expect them to continue making moves. But Seattle is fighting hard, but it look like they're about even right now. Like if they win tomorrow, then that division's tied. But yeah, I got the Niners, and then I'm expecting to be Niners Eagles in the NFC championship game.
No, I think that Jimmy G is going to do all he can in his power to lose games. Honestly, I don't think the Niners going to go far because Jimmy G be doing some suspect things. I think if Murray plays, it probably would be Arizona. I think that Hopkins is going to show out this game.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a tough matchup on Monday night. Rich always talks about how the 49ers come on late. They've definitely been proving that so far. So they need another win. So I think the 49ers are going to take that, but we'll see.
Really quick last shout out. Baker Mayfield got the start, threw 2 picks.
Did they sit him immediately?
Nah, like they let him play it out. But yeah, his QBR was 20. His rating was 54, so he had an overall terrible game. But yeah, anytime you get a chance, I think it's been proven overall. Like it was covered up a lot because the Browns were so stacked, but it's been proven. You're like, bro, you're not a starting quarterback, and then your personality doesn't allow you to be a backup either. So it's kind of like, okay, maybe it's time for you to be an analyst or go do some more, insurance commercials.
Yeah, that game was just an ugly game too. The Ravens definitely weren't on point as well, but you mentioned Baker Mayfield. My goodness, man, what was that like? Oh, that was a bad one. Yeah, that's everything you guys got today. We all good? All right. Another week on the Magna Carta Sports Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We are your hosts. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share. We'll be back with another one.
Peace.